We've given this is the 11th time we've given the workshop. We started in 2006 with our first workshop, and we've had probably 400 people that have gone through this workshop in the past. And what really makes it work, as both John and Steve had mentioned, is to make it interactive, to have you participate in it, because we want your experience from emergency action plans as well, because we always walk away with experience that you folks have as well. So it's been very helpful to do that. We've improved the course as well along the way from the input that the participants have done as well. So my presentation, I'm going to go over, we talked about this NRCS ASDSO EAP, a sample EAP. So I'm going to go through the particulars of that, and because this is the EAP that we're going to use for our exercises. So you are going to act as the sheriff or the owner of this dam number 23. So you'll become familiar with this EAP, and that's the backbone of what we're going to use. NRCS is one of the sponsors of this workshop, and that's why we're using this EAP, which we think is a good format for sure to use. It has all the important components in it, and it's one that is commonly distributed and used throughout the U.S. here. This EAP, the NRCS ASDSO EAP, was developed as a joint effort. It was an interagency task force was formed in 2004. 3 state dam safety officials were on that task force, Montana, Maryland, and Kentucky. 3 federal agencies, U.S. Bureau of Reclamation, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and NRCS. 2 emergency managers, a dam owner, and ASDSO staff. The first thing that the task force really did was they had ASDSO go and pull all the state dam safety officials to ask them from the actual emergencies that they've been involved with to be able to have lessons learned and comments from those, so they could input that into this sample EAP, into this format, to have the best format that they felt that they could pull together. And they also looked at formats from various federal agencies, again, Fish and Wildlife, NRCS, ASDSO, FEMA, 4 states, and the Bureau of Reclamation, to take the best of what they felt was out of those formats and then create the format, this NRCS one that we're going to use. They conducted some workshops, and they finally finalized this format in 2007 and posted it on their website, NRCS, to be available to anyone really to access. And I'm going to go through exactly how you can access those, that information as well. Several states have adopted them. I think Steve or John had mentioned earlier, I know the state of Colorado uses a similar format to ASDSO. The state of New Mexico does as well. And I'm sure there's probably several other states that are out there that have adopted them and maybe changed it a little bit, but the backbone is the NRCS EAP. So the task force was formed. They had some purposes of the EAP, and as mentioned earlier, their primary purpose was reduce the loss of life. That was certainly the purpose of any EAP, and secondarily was to protect property downstream. The rest of the points really are more components of a good EAP. The good EAP needs to be able to determine the event level, and our EAP, the one that the NRCS EAP, to do that, there's a determination table in there that can help the owner determine what event level is that particular emergency event is going to be under. And we'll go through an exercise actually to go through and complete that table. Secondarily, there's notifications for possible evacuations. That's another key component of any EAP, as mentioned earlier. Those notifications, we have notification flow charts that are in our EAP, the NRCS EAP, and one for each of the 3 different event levels. And we're going to have an exercise that we're going to do right after this presentation that we'll break up into groups and then actually form those notification flow charts. The next point for a good component, identify people and property at risk that are downstream of the dam. That's accomplished, of course, with our inundation maps that our sample EAP, the NRCS EAP, has in it. And provide technical guidance, pre-planned actions, that should be taken, that the owner should consider when there's a particular event that comes up. And again, the NRCS EAP has those guidance in there as well. And we're going to have an exercise actually to go through and actually form the some emergency actions that should be taking place. So we've got 3 exercises